As if you'd nothing better to be doing, off we go with another brief resume of yet another extraordinary week in the crazy world of football. And let's begin today in Istanbul and Sunday's Besiktas-Galatasaray match, which got suspended in the 93rd minute with Galatasaray 2-1 up because of this, a scary-looking pitch invasion by Besiktas fans, sparked by a trademark hammer tackle by Felipe Melo, he of the ironic surname, like Claudio Gentile. Or Ian Wright. Anyway, headline upon headline this week about the number of invaders whose garden they'd raided for all the chairs, and the fact that the stewards, by and large, bravely ran away when it all kicked off. As Hurriyet put it, for 30 lira, about £9, let's do one. Come Tuesday, though, the story took another turn when Galatasaray manager Fatih Terim, he of the not that ironic first name, got the boot from the club, despite them being 2-1 up in that game. Hang on, though, you're thinking. Fatih Terim, isn't he Turkey manager? Well, the answer is yes. Since June, he's been doing both. Terim in June. And that hasn't been going down too well with Galatasaray, because since then the club's results have suffered noticeably, culminating in last one's 6-1 thrashing by Real Madrid in the Champions League. On top of all of that, complains Galatasaray's president, Terim doesn't respond to my texts. And that's a bit too much, even from a club legend like him, so out he goes. Well, what does this mean for Schneider and Drogba? That's one question. Who will replace him? That's another. And Fanatic on Wednesday helpfully placing this want ad on their cover. Help wanted, it says. Must immediately respond to the president's phone call and text. Must not criticise transfer targets. Must love the facilities. Must not get a 9-game ban for abusing the referees. And must not run another team at the same time. Boy, that narrows it down just a little bit. Well, according to the paper, a certain hot-headed Italian recently fired from the Premier League is the front runner. No, not that one. Although it would be funny. This one, Roberto Mancini. Given that one of his first games in charge would be a Champions League clash with Juventus, who are one of Mancho's bitterest enemies, the idea has the Italian press in fits. Photomac, though, back in Turkey, have a different story. Heynckes is coming, is their headline, with triple-winning ex-Bayern boss being lured out of retirement. Wow. And incidentally, yes, eagle-eyed viewer, that is underneath Florent Malouda, now at Trabzonspor, dressed up in what appears to be a tribute to sadly neglected vamp rom-com Love at First Bite. Well, it's not as if there wasn't any other news that day. Anyway, who will Galatasaray decide is the boss for us? Lord knows. But in the meantime, it's on to the week's other pitch invasion stroke Champions League manager under pressure story. This one comes from Portugal, scene of last Sunday's clash between Vitória Guimarães and Benfica. Benfica won the game 1-0, after which a bunch of their fans ran onto the pitch to celebrate and get some shirts. But the security personnel, emboldened by the absence of any garden furniture perhaps, stepped in and dealt with them swiftly and severely. Now, seeing this, Benfica manager Jorge Jesus himself ran on, grappling with officers and freeing the oppressed supporters before getting himself arrested. Full marks for solidarity, particularly when, to the horror of O Jogo, who support Benfica's rivals Porto, the officials left the whole business out of their report. No one saw anything, says O Jogo. However, they've now changed their tune, and Jorge faces anything up to a 3-year ban, we read, for his have-a-go antics, plus potential criminal charges as well. It is Calvary for Jesus, says Abola, with arguably the best turn of praise since they said he was nailed on for the title. Major concern too this for the club ahead of their trip to Paris Saint-Germain next week. Other managerial news? Well, how about Gennaro Gattuso? Yup, former midfield growler Reno is a gaffer these days, talking prozone and rocking the training cones at Palermo. Or at least he was, because after last weekend's defeat at Bari, just 6 games into his reign, he joined the ranks of managers fired by Palermo president Maurizio Zamparini, a group this whose numbers are swelling faster than a student's trousers during Hollyoaks. Indeed, including Gattuso, Zamparini has now been through, in 24 years as a club president, 44 new managers. 24 years. Wow. Well, next up, the club have turned to Beppe Iacchini, who had actually turned them down last summer, but who now says, with a bit of a nod to tradition, Palermo made me an offer and I couldn't refuse. Well, I hope he's charging by the hour. Will he still be there next week? Who will be guiding Galatasaray in Turin? Those questions and many more when we return in 7 days' time with a proper Champions League roundup next Friday. Hopefully, see you then.